Good morning, Kampala. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, Africa. And good morning, the world. Welcome back to Behold Africa, which is brought to you live from UTC Media. I am your host, Jude Klein, and my co-host,
Navshao Brenda. Good morning, Africa.
Now, just a reminder, this show comes live to you from Kampala every day, 8 a.m. and we bring to you the hottest of scoops right around every corner of the world. Now, we're going to get into some interesting stories, but before we do that, we're going to have some headlines with Brenda.
Well, thank you, Jude. Good morning, Africa. Habari asubuhi. And in our news today, I begin with a sad story of the fire outbreak at around Hans petrol station at Kubili, Wandegea. It happened today morning. Masaka authorities express irregularities in land acquisition. 48 arrested over Komamboga bomb blast. Burumbura girls dormitory block in Kenya catches fire. 21-storied building under construction in Nigeria collapses. Algeria to halt gas exports to Spain via Morocco. And also in other news, Teens Awards 2021 opens nominations. And with this, Jude, we start with news analysis, as we always do. But now, the sad story is another fire that caught today early morning at the petrol station. And we shall show you the video, our viewers. But because it was early, police did not give a clear reason why it caught fire and all that. We are here to establish that. So keep watched, you keep on Behold Africa. We shall bring you all the latest news and also that story at large. So Jude, this is another, when we're also in this period of the bomb blast, because this is not a new scenario. Remember where Nakawa, we had another fire outbreak at Nakawa. Now this another incident, and it's, and the time frame is still, we are still in the same time frame of the attacks and also the fire outbreaks. Where our viewers, we should remember, also discussed about this. Is there the relationship between the fires happening and also the bomb blasts? So do you think it's a coincidence?
Now it is beginning to seem like it's not a coincidence. Previously it looked like it was a coincidence, but at the moment the public is at unrest. The public thinks these incidences are kind of linked, and it begs me to ask the question, how are they linked? Because out of the blue, so the fire that broke out today at Kubiri was early in the morning. Most of us were still sleeping. So, but for us here at UTIS, we are always up. We are always looking for news to bring to you. And there's a petrol station right there that caught fire. And reports, there is a short clip that was taken by one of the residents in the area. We're going to show you that video very soon. But here is the thing. These fires are very scary. Like, for example, it's at a petrol station.
That's what I was going to say. Especially if it's happening at the petrol station. That is very dangerous. You are dealing with petrol, kerosene, and all explosives.
And along that road of Kubiri, it joins to two sides. It joins to Bwaise and Kaleru.
Just now there is a commotion
there are also several other petrol stations. And as you know, fires spread. Now, I can imagine if this fire spread from one petrol station onto the next building and caught on to another petrol station, it would be a lot of havoc.
Well, the extent of the harm or the impact of this fire is yet to be established as we are waiting from the report of the police. So let us wait on the police, they'll give us. And the video again to show you, it was one of the students in Makerere University that took the video, and the person shared the video. So please look out for the video.
Yes, as you have seen the video, it is not a very long one, it's a short clip. I think that is as much as
we are here to bring you the full details of this story. As you know, it happened during the night time.
Yes.
No,
Morning-
the early,
morning-
the,
mor-
yeah,
early
the
morning
only,
hours.
the early morning hours. So we are here to bring you the live, how it happened, what caused
What
it, and
caused
all
it,
that.
yeah.
It's yet to come in the news.
And probably establish who is behind it.
Yeah, hopefully we
Hopefully.
we shall, because I
So-
know that the police will come on board with a report of what happened.
So we are still awaiting on the official report
Yeah.
and analysis on what happened and what caused the fire, and just stay tuned and we shall bring you more of these details very soon.
Well, in relation to these attacks and the fire outbreaks, police yesterday arrested 48
Yes.
suspects on the same attack that happened in Komamboga Bloom Blast, which is uninteresting and inspired, because we know at least they're doing something.
Yes, that is very true. Now, just a reminder of you, for those of you who have just joined us and are not up to speed with what has been going on, I'll remind you the bombing that happened at Komamboga at a pork joint a week ago,
Yeah.
that left one dead and several others injured, and this was during curfew hours. Now, investigations have been ongoing on finding suspects and the people responsible for this bombing, and lucky enough, we have had a breakthrough. This was of yesterday, 1st of November 2020, where the police managed to arrest 48.
And they say they're still arresting more, by the way, because they're working hand in hand with all these ground officers, the DPs and all those. So anybody whom they suspect to be in the link of that, they're going to be taken
Well,
in.
I think this is very good news.
Yeah.
At least it gives us some reassurance
Yeah.
that, well, the police is doing the best they can do to keep us safe, but we should also keep ourselves safe in return. Yeah.
You should just be vigilant and
Yes.
be
This-
suspicious with anything you see that you don't understand. Just report it to the officials, and that is the only way you can get out of this.
Indeed, because for us here, we shall not stop lamenting about vigilance, because that is the only way we are going to keep our society safe. It's the only way we are going to keep our children safe. It's the only way we're going to keep our property safe. So,
Because when you look at these incidences, all the previous bomb blasts, for example, the one that happened on the bus, that one, police say the components that were used were these local components,
Yes.
like the nails, which means people who created them are just locally made here.
Yes.
It's not something from far.
so it's not something like that was imported.
Yeah.
So you can't say they are, intruders from outside countries who are trying to,
Well, this other story that we reported about yesterday, the Burubura,
Burubura, yeah?
Burubura school dormitory that caught fire. Yeah, the cause of the fire, we shall yet to tell you more about it, but we have a video for you as we promised yesterday. This is the video we have for that fire. Fire news, so but we have nothing to do. It's happening, and it's, since you're reporting news in East Africa, all Africa,
Yeah.
we cannot fail to report all things that are related to that.
Yes, that's
But
true.
now, in other news, yesterday we got another shock of the building that fell. 21
stories.
21 stone.
So
It fell down, like it collapsed.
and it was still under construction. So there is a company in Nigeria that was constructing luxurious apartments.
Yeah.
Just like here, I think the most luxurious, I think, are the ones with speak apartments.
Yes.
Yes, but now for us Ugandans who do not know, out there they refer to them as luxurious apartments. For us here we just say apartments. But yes, an example you can take of speak apartments, and yes, a 21-story building in Nigeria that was under construction for settlement collapsed in the middle of the day. I think it was about 2 or something like that.
It was in the middle of the day.
But lucky enough, they say lucky enough, the buildings had not yet been occupied.
But since they're under construction,
Yes.
don't you have those workers for the
Yes,
labor?
most definitely. Actually, the reports say the director of construction, is that how let me call him the engineer.
No, the engineer.
Yeah, the engineer of that construction building was on site that very morning to kind of you know, look at the building and see what's going on, and later on in the day it collapses. Now the witnesses say they are not sure whether he was still on site or he was off site, but definitely some of the builders were there, the constructors were there, but they are still yet to tell us whether some we expect some casualties.
Of course, just
Yes.
like this is not a new story or a new something new in our ears, because we have also seen it in Uganda where you had
Makindye.
no, it was also in Chiseka. For that, and they said your engineers should at least go on site, inspect before the buildings are put on site, and also approve their plans and all that. Now, for that, here the officials in charge of that in KCCA, they came on board and said, yeah, we give a head for this people to go and construct, but they make their own changes and do things that are not on plan.
But
Now, for that scenario, I don't know.
But I don't think it's the blame does not necessarily only belong to the engineers. Let me give you an example. I've done a little bit of construction myself, outside of the city, of course,
Yeah.
where it's more or less you don't involve KCCA. Yeah, but you get a good engineer. Yes, his work is renowned and all that, but the people he employs are the ones that are kind of sabotaging his work. So, like for example, me, the construction I did was out of the city, so up country. They hire local men because it's cheaper labor.
I know.
Yeah. Now these guys, instead of using 5 bags of cement, be like, okay, we can use 4 bags
Yeah.
and a lot more sand, and everything will be fine. But the construction was initially supposed to be for 5 bags of cement. So you have reduced the integrity of that concentration.
But now,
And I think this is one of the problems that all constructions suffer.
But now, Jude, as the engineer, I think they're told the ethics of supervising their sites. You are held, because anything that goes wrong, you are held accountable of it.
That is very
In
true.
case anything is messed up, it won't go to these casual laborers. No.
That is very
I also have previously worked with a construction company, and I know something about it, where the engineer is in charge to inspect every detail. While they tell you you're supposed to use 1 bag of cement in 3 wheelbarrows of sand and all that, you should ensure they come and even check.
Yes, that is true.
So, okay, I agree there are those unavoidable mistakes that happen and all. But anyway, as they all say, accidents can happen anytime, even the perfect, where you believe nothing can happen or nothing can go wrong, you can expect something to go wrong. So, but if
still,
you leave it to the engineers, and also, but as I talked to the engineer yesterday when I saw this story, he said, sometimes you blame us for nothing, but also the owners of these buildings.
They want to cut corners.
They want the shortcuts.
That is true.
You tell him we need 10 bags of cement, he says,
You can
that's
use
a lot. Can't 8 is even much.
5.
They say, can't you use 5? They'll tell you, can't you use 5? But now I told him, it gives you a bad name. You should also mark your principles. If you tell him,
yes, that
if
is
you
very
tell
true.
him I cannot work for 5 bags, I'm asking for 10. And if you cannot provide other much, okay, yeah, you're pushing away the job and all that. But still, you're keeping your standards high.
Here is the thing. Not most of us have the audacity to actually stand up to whoever is employing us and be like, man, no, I can't do it for this. We're all struggling to look for that small money.
Anyway,
so when a deal comes along
I
and
understand.
your boss wants you to do something, you'll be like, but boss, I can't. And he goes like,
Yeah, that's
you have
true.
to do it. And you're like, okay, let's do it.
I understand. And sometimes clients, if you start exchanging words with them, or if you start like discussing, unless if you're telling, they believe you're trying to command them on their
Exactly.
buildings
And
and
they
all that.
so much hate that.
But we also call the clients, and even I'm also a client. I would be a client. I know
Most
that.
definitely.
So I would say be cautioned. If you want the quality work, please let the qualified people understand for us.
Do not cut corners.
Do not do short.
Cutting corners is what is bringing all
If
about
you are
these
doing
problems.
a stall building, 21 stalls, you should be very, very careful.
But you see, Brenda, I'm still on that argument. Most of the time, I don't think it's neither the engineer nor the client who is actually trying to cut corners. Now, for example, this
No,
one here, specifically this one here, it's a luxurious building. He
Yeah.
wants it to be the best of the best. The client might have invested a lot of
Yeah,
money
a lot
into
of money.
this.
Yeah, a lot of millions.
The engineer might have invested a lot of time and his dedicated work into
But
this,
what will
but he can't necessarily be on site 24/7.
Yeah.
It could have even been a sabotage.
Yeah, that's
You just never know. Someone out there who does not like the client or does not like the engineer. So there's a lot of conspiracy behind all of this.
And then that's why I said anything can happen. Even when
Exactly.
you feel like there is no shortcut,
exactly.
you believe you have done it to your best, just anything can send you
Anything
out.
can
But
happen. So
what the least we can tell them is to be cautious, critical, and check out every loophole and all that.
that is true, and just stay on the lookout for any people who come around and
Yeah.
you don't understand their behaviors.
Yeah. In other stories is the Sudan protests. You remember we are going into the 7th. They were there having this protest because they say we all know the military
Took over
took
the
over
government.
took over the government, and people are not in support of it. They went to the streets to. So now that it's leaving at least 3 dead, and the protests are going on. And
Yes,
so
and the toll count is still going up because the protests have not stopped. Actually, 2 days ago, the doctors also got involved in the protest. They're like, it's just unfair that the civilians are now suffering, all because the military has decided to take over the government.
because you know in Luganda we say muno mukabiye muno dala. So if my own pushes me away, then where do I run?
But here is the thing. You see, in Africa, we have all African countries try to promote democracy, and a military coup is definitely not democracy. Yeah, we have been sharing a lot of pictures here where the civilians are burning tires on the roads, the military firing live bullets into the crowds. So it's nothing that is beautiful. It's not anything that would want to go happen anywhere. So I'm sure that's why most of these organizations are trying to pull away, so that they force them to actually take some steps back and rethink what they are doing, because the thing that is on the table is demand for a democratic government. So that means giving back the power to the civilian government, not a military coup.
Well, in other words, let us first check the newspapers, Jude.
Yeah.
I'm holding New Vision and also Bukete.
I'm having Daily Monitor.
And let's see what is
So as usual, we usually bring to you some news updates from our local newspapers here in Uganda, Kampala. And what I have here is Daily Monitor and some headlines. So remember, yesterday marked the 1st of November, and at the same time marked the reopening of universities and post-secondary students reporting back to school. But here in the newspaper it says universities turn away unvaccinated students. Among the mandatory rules that were established by the government was all students and staff of all learning institutions must be vaccinated, and I'm sure most of the students were not vaccinated, and that's why the universities were turning them away, because the security was on high alert. Over 200 farmers recoup from seeds of gold. Farm clinic. This is good news for some farmers out there. Universities turn away unvaccinated students. Yes, you can read this in details. There are pictures here showing security officials checking each and every student for a vaccination certificate, and if you didn't have a vaccination certificate, obviously they'll send you away back home. House walks back on vaccination for MPs. We talked about this yesterday, where they passed that all MPs must be vaccinated and present your vaccination card before you can sit in the House. MP Segrinya's life in grave danger. Yes, you can read about this. High Court upholds elections of MPs Muhwezi Nuwangava. Climate change. Boris demands action now. So there is the climate summit that is going on right now in Glasgow. So you can read about this. Joshua Cheptegei headed to Netherlands with family. The family, Cheptegei was introduced, I think, over the weekend.
Yeah, right? He was introduced. Remember, we talked about it.
Yes, we talked about it yesterday, where Cheptegei, the gold medalist, athletic gold medalist from the Olympics of 2020, it was introduced yesterday, and now he's headed for Netherlands,
Yeah.
probably for some honeymoon or something like that, which is good news. Brenda, do you have anything from New Vision?
Yeah, I'm holding New Vision. New Vision is saying here, bombings. We are still on the topics of bombings.
Yeah.
40 more suspects arrested. And it's showing here universities reopening, but they are checking them thoroughly.
Yes, thoroughly.
The thoroughly I had in some universities, please don't carry your bags with all, you know, ladies, we have the habit of carrying briefcases.
Your bags. It is said your bags can carry a whole kitchen.
So they tell us don't go to the lecture rooms or in this if you have, because it will take long checking you, but also they may chase you away.
That is true.
Because there is no time to waste. Police arrest 48 over Kampala and PG bombs. How quickly does one develop AIDS? We have a story here in New Vision about that. Universities open for blended learning. And also police arrests over 2,000 for violating curfew hours. Jude,
yes, for those of us who are moving out there past curfew hours, be very, very careful.
When you go to COVID, June Vision brings a story of the Attorney General defense blocking of unvaccinated workers. And for example, we had the MPs, they were dashed if you are not vaccinated, you're not allowed.
You're not going to sit in the house.
And they came on board and they said this is not in order. Well, New Vision has a lot of stories for you. You should check it out.
Yes.
Government loses shilling 78 billion in treating GBV victims. Well, I can go on and on. She cranes flying high. It has a story for you here. I'll go to Bukede to all our lover of Uganda who can read Uganda. Bukede gamba bebasa sudde akawumbi bafudde lumu. Katikkiro weebale kujja kuddamula. Well, ekuleetedde ekifaananyi kya Wawumbwamala wano eno nga mwebaza. Bukedde era ne story ya Ssenga, so temulina okukebera mulabe. So bonna abaagala okusoma amawulire gano kwegali ku street bambi temugana musobola okugula epapula lya Bukedde lya nusu 10.
Yeah.
New Vision ya 2.
New Vision for 2.
Yeah. So New Vision is for 2,000. You can just buy them on the street and keep updated because it has a lot of bulletins for you. You shouldn't miss out, and also don't miss to subscribe, share the link of Utisi Media, and also follow us on Behold Africa on Facebook and all our social media platforms. But right now we are going into the weather forecast. We have a lady called Sandra. She's bringing us all these what's happening around the weather climate.
Yes.
What you shouldn't miss.
Now, some of you who have just woken up, let me give you a hint of what's happening in the weather right here in Kampala. For some of you who have just woken up, well, it's a clear weather, I think. See me, I'm not wearing a jacket. So, yeah, keep yourself locked onto Utisi Media because we are going to bring you some weather forecasts from here in Kampala and all over Africa. So, stay tuned as we go into the weather.
Demva kueringa zwarwe maratsaba momberusi tom atikui mandra ikoseyo nzezu mipe TV ya Utisi Media. Utisi Media re mirisu lugala masana fwa eroduko ti medre okoko di yidi sadrie and yo midizo ba kwesi de woro ke di Utisi Media re eringa solve in time. So Utisi Media re TV bano vele online de sa de yo de amadre anzi PMV ko remicha kwedi ne mitale meni TV na mvani yokini ile ma cartoon ni ayo mvani mini remote university remote go atat madresra kini ile ma cartoon na so mita jero mina rekata piruri remedi ni yangon rarko mini dresi cartoon kumva madre nini ra medi simungwa bedroom e kadi bedroom ebo yo da kidi sa mini enyandre youth media be me di sa beru me tap me dir mi simudu me smartphone di andre ti wewe de remi werina me de yo youth media re su e ka yusu bo di mi di yo okokota mi di zaba stress ta mini su jamboa stress min su azitie stress min su ngwangwa de irati worosa di so mo nda fe be dori maru atikuto mutamalu mimbe borle youth media za sa de medri TV di rizu TV di komenes mo mbeno roro mangazie yoki waro so madru mala kitanda dire yere mapilo bomo mbia malo di youth media beljo be di da maza dinisa okuma dizazuku okukale ma Nigeria movie ne eri ma yoti ilere yo madru ma youth media be da kitanda dire da pilo dire ma va yere si awari fo mirun ko tizi midori mandrai ko so yenzo be youth media ngazo arue maracha arue pa ke adinia awadi fo medrangiri $100 ma dipi mambupi ma tapi woro awadi fo
Youth Media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era. Youth Media, the new era.
Youth media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era.
Youth Media, the new era. Youth Media, the new era.
Youth media, the new era.
My name is Bukenya Roke, and my dream is to become a physical engineer. So I follow youth media in order to pursue my dream. And I would encourage you to follow youth media on Facebook, Google, Twitter, in order to pursue also your dreams.
I'm Sasanga Hillary. You can call me Hillary Panda. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a vocist of Form 4, going to A level. I study from Kati Secondary School. I follow up youth media to fulfill my dream, because youth media has done more than harm, which is helping more people, as in giving them confidence about what they are supposed to.
basobola tukolinga ku platform zaffe nga like Twitter, Facebook, IG, devoting mind zaabwe various technical activities such as abaana basobola oyiga website designing, graphic designing n'ebirala nga tebagenze kusomero naye nga baliyigidde waka. Tubiyita abazadde bagulira abaana baabwe data bagezeeko okukola subscribinga n'okufollowinga UTC Media bajja laba nga abaana bafuna ekintu
Behold Africa, it's a cold Tuesday morning, 2nd of November 2021. Good morning Uganda, good morning Africa. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. It can be measured in degrees Celsius, degrees Fahrenheit, and on a Kelvin scale. It can also be measured on how fast the atoms and molecules move in a substance. Namirim Sandra to bring you your weather forecast report. I'm going to start with our central, that is Kampala and areas around Kampala. Kampala and areas around Kampala, it's mostly cloudy. If you're somewhere at your shop, still home, you've gone for work, you can look outside the window. It's partly cloudy. It's too cold. If you're outside, I'm sure you're putting on a sweater. Currently, it's 19 degrees Celsius, and the high will be 26 degrees Celsius. Like I said in the beginning, temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. It can be either measured in degrees Fahrenheit, degrees Celsius, and on a Kelvin scale. And for now, our temperature, we are measuring it in degrees Celsius because it's not a substance. It can also be only be measured as degrees Fahrenheit,
degrees Celsius when it's in temperature of weather, but if it's a substance, how fast the atom moves, that's when you measure it. Today, Kampala and areas around Kampala, that is our central, it is 19 degrees Celsius, and the high will be 26 degrees Celsius. It's partly cloudy to the extent that we are expecting some rain, and chances of rain are